As someone who's been following and supporting Hyuna's career for more than a decade, 13 years to be exact, this news is immeasurably disappointing. I'll admit my relationship with Hyuna is pretty parasocial, my one-sided relationship of course, but I can't look at her the same way. That's how bad this is for those saying it isn't that big of a deal. I, a die-hard Aang, someone who upon first meeting you will know two things, that I love oranges and I love Hyuna. I am saying I'm stopping my support for her because of this. This is how serious all of this is. As someone who understands why it can be frustrating to crucify a woman for the actions of her male partner, but at the same time, you are who you hang around. And I do judge people by what they permit into their orbit, and allowing this kind of man to not only befriend, but to be romantically involved with is simply disgusting. For newer fans, which I recognize is a lot of you, I don't think you understand the gravity that was the Burning Sun scandal. Considering the list of abhorrent crimes that were involved in the scandal, calling it a scandal seems to be so inappropriate. It was a crime. So among the criminals involved in this elaborate crime, Jun-Hyung kind of falls under the radar, which he shouldn't. He was an active bystander to the crimes unfolding, and that in itself is unforgivable. And Hyuna, by dating him and bringing him back into the spotlight after he was rightfully shut off the limelight, is inexcusable, and I don't understand her thought process. So I'll start with some misconceptions, specifically revolving around Go Hara. Yes, Jun-Hyung did date Go Hara, but their split was amicable in 2013, so before the crimes took place. A lot of people are confusing him for Go Hara's other ex-boyfriend, Jung-Bum, which understandable since both are irrelevant losers. Jung-Bum was the one who recorded intimate videos of her and used them as blackmail alongside being violent towards her and her property. They are not the same people, just to clarify. A lot of people are mad that Hyuna is dating her friend's ex because Hyuna and Go Hara were friends, but considering everything else surrounding this couple, Hyuna not being a girl's girl is the least of my concerns. Please stop bringing this up, as this has started to overshadow the literal crimes this man has committed. Some people don't know why so many fans are mad and disappointed in Hyuna, and when people prioritize the fact that she's dating her friend's ex, you're not focusing on the real issue and why people are actually mad. If you want to add it as a tidbit, fine, but that should not be your main point. It's not as important or as relevant as the literal crimes this man has been surrounded with, and involved in. So I didn't expect this to go under the radar or be swept away as quickly as it did. I remember people being very enraged both internationally and within Korea, obviously, since this was happening in Korea with Korean women. Even VIPs or Big Bang fans were disavowing Seungri, who was the ringleader of this crime, or one of the main perpetrators of this crime. Yet now I see people not only forgetting the gravity of these crimes, but also welcoming back the criminals and wanting them to return to being celebrities, which absolutely not. That is unacceptable. The Burning Sun scandal was a big scandal, let's say, of the mocha epidemic South Korea was and still faces. Mocha is a Korean term to denote the distribution of specifically non-consensual sexual videos on the internet of women. To put in perspective how large the scandal got in 2019, political parties were using it for their campaigns. The list of crimes involved in this case include prostitution, sexual bribery, drug trafficking, police corruption, and rape, amongst many other crimes. But these are the most important in my opinion, or at least the most offensive. Seungri, a disgraced idol formerly of Big Bang, was one of the directors of the club called the Burning Sun, in which these crimes happened and were permitted to happen. These crimes were not done in secret. There is evidence that they knew fully well that what kind of criminal behavior was happening in the club. The evidence being group chats and messages. The behavior allegedly that was happening in the club was that they would ready women for sex by giving them date rape drugs and to their clients. And there were videos of the women getting raped by the clients in group chats, being sent in group chats, Seungri, despite denying having provided prostitutes to business associates, there are alleged messages that state otherwise, such as stating, "Give them easy girls." Take that conversation as you will. He was convicted of sexual bribery, in case anyone wants to defend him and say he didn't know what was happening in his goddamn club. There are great videos that go more in depth into the crimes committed and just how this particular scandal impacted the country, which I definitely recommend you watch, especially if this is all new information for you. I'll put these videos in the description below. So Jun-Hyung was not part of the cookout chats, which the police initially thought, but that did not mean he was not aware of what was happening. Jung-Hyung was the former idol who was distributing videos of women who were captured and sexually violated by other idols in a group chat. Despite not being in that group chat specifically, he did receive one-on-one communication with Jung-Hyung, and he was sent the criminal videos. Not only did he admit to watching said videos, but also admitted that he was very much aware of Jung-Hyung's prolific approach of capturing explicit videos of women with spy cams. It just makes you wonder what kind of person he is if these were his close friends. You don't send these types of videos and frequently enough for them to know your habits if you aren't close. He wouldn't have sent these videos to, Jung-Hyung wouldn't have sent these videos to Jun-Hyung if he didn't know he was okay with it. All that was certain was that Jung-Hyung knew that he could send these abhorrent, nasty videos to Jun-Hyung without any fear of repercussion, as Jun-Hyung clearly didn't see a problem with this behavior. Jun-Hyung, Hyuna's current boyfriend, was a bystander to the rape of countless women, because even if at the bare minimum these women consented to having sex with Jung-Hyung, they didn't consent to be recorded and these recordings being sent to others. Jun-Hyung didn't see a problem with it, enough to go to the police, or at least for the bare minimum, tell his friend this is not okay and to stop sending me these videos. And to me, that says a lot about a person's character. Of course, that is until the police came knocking at his door and he spills the beans. And don't get me wrong, it's a good thing he snitched. But you can plead your case about how much you regret your inaction prior to all of this, but when you're only showing remorse because you got caught in the crossfire too, that doesn't spark much sympathy for me. True. At least that we know of, he didn't commit that crime. And he's only described as a witness to these crimes. Yet does that mean he shouldn't have a platform? Absolutely not. I hope he has changed. That's all we can wish for. But I also wish he was far away from the limelight as physically possible. I don't think he's a person that should return to being a celebrity. I don't think he deserves to have a platform. I think he's a public persona. I think he as a public persona should just fade out in the background. What he did is really not forgivable. If he had come out sooner, maybe nothing would have changed. Maybe the corrupt police wouldn't have done anything to stop it. Maybe the people he was against were too powerful. Or maybe if he did the right thing, there would be less victims. Maybe if he shamed Jung-Hyung and warned others of his behavior, there would be fewer victims. He had options. Even if not directly confronting these evil people, he could have done something to help. At the very least, he could have rejected being a recipient of these videos and distanced himself from the scum of the earth type of people. But he didn't. He chose to be silent. He chose to be passive, and that had consequences. I'm sure he thought the only consequences would be the victims, and he would never imagine he would need to pay for his inaction. But justice prevails sometimes. Unfortunately for him. The issue of Hyuna dating him is that she is a public figure. A very popular public figure at that. With currently 18.1 million followers on Instagram, whoever she dates will also be exposed to the large audience, and their reach will grow. Jun-Hyung is not someone who deserves this attention. He is not someone you want to be around much less support. He's not someone I want to support, and I also don't want to support the people around him, which means I'm going to stop supporting Hyuna from now, unfollowing her on social media and really ignoring her future projects. This is sad in a stupid, ridiculous way because I don't know her, really, and the fact that I was so invested in her and her career is ridiculous. I recognize that. And the fact that this has genuinely upset me is also pretty stupid, but I can't help it. I was attached, but I'm firm with this decision. You can choose how you will go about interacting with Hyuna and her content in the future in your own way. I'm not saying to follow my example. This is just how I'm going to deal with this new revelation in her character. So that's that on learning how to deal with parasocial relationships. I really, really implore everyone to do their own research on the Burning Sun scandal, or the Burning Gate, some people like to call it, the Burning Sun Gate, as this is not just drama. It was much more serious than that. So that's how I leave you with this very dark topic. Bye.